You're listening to the Follow the Leader podcast, brought to you by the Sandscreens Leader and Inkwell, your choice for custom apparel and printing. Visit them online at inkwellnation.com. We talk about all things Sand Springs athletics, who's who, what's going on, what's next, who's breaking records, and whatever else we want to talk about.
From the CTM studios, this is the Follow the Leader podcast.
Now here's your host, Kirk McCracken and Rusty Gunn.
All right, Rusty, today we're going to talk boys basketball. We haven't talked boys basketball yet this season.
Yes, sir.
And we've got a lot of firsts today. We've obviously not done boys basketball. And we've also never had not only a father and son guest, but a father and two sons guest. So that should be fun. Today we've got Eric Savage, head coach of the boys basketball team, and we've got Colt Savage and Cale Savage. How's it going, fellas?
Doing well.
Good.
Thank you.
All right. So want to talk about the season so far. We're 9-11, I believe, after last night. The boys won the Memorial Tournament where they beat the Wichita Defenders, the OKC Storm in Northwest Arkansas. We took Bixby. We took second in the Duncan Tournament. We beat Bixby, Jinx, and Bishop Kelly in the Frontier Conference. And we've been in and out of the top 20 so far this season. So, guys, I want to talk about the season so far. I want all of your input, and we can start with you, Coach. You guys have had so many close games. We've been right there in a lot of them. Just kind of talk about where we're at right now and just kind of how the season has gone so far.
Well, I think, last night's game was similar to a lot of the games that we've had this year. And, we end up losing by 6. Up until that point, we'd had 5 games that we've lost by, or 6 games that we'd lost by 5 points or less. And so we've been competitive in all our games, just finding a way to get over the hump, usually in the fourth quarter and being able to hold on. And I think we've grown since the beginning of the year, but I think a lot of that is to the youth that we have, only returning two players this year with varsity experience, and a lot of these guys are just having to grow up on the fly, and I think we've seen that in a lot of our games.
Cale?
Kind of what Cole said, we're a pretty hard team to play, and we play every team close, and it's always a challenge for them.
Coach, obviously your top scorers, of course, Kyle Keener and then Colt doing most of the scoring. Seems like we're just, as you say, losing last night by 6, and it seems like a lot of those games are just like one guy away that can step up and get about 8 points and really turn this whole thing around. So
right, and that's what we've been looking for all year is to try to find that person who's going to step up when we need a basket, when it can't be Colt or it can't be Kyle. I mean, in the games that we've won, you look in those games and we've had some players step up into those roles. Last Friday night it was Matthew Price. It's been Jacob Garby. Cale has had his moments where he's scoring points, and I've really been on him, and he can tell you I'm not very pleased with him here the last 3 games because He's combined for 2 points in his last 3 games, and is just not being aggressive enough for us. And I'm putting that pressure on him, but whether he makes the shot or not, sometimes he needs to take the shot or take the drive to get some of the pressure off of us. And just getting them to believe in the ability that they need to be making those plays is kind of what we're struggling with, getting that consistency this year.
Now, Colt, you're averaging well over 20 points a game. Do you feel the pressure to go out and score a certain amount, like when you're getting ready for the game in your head, or you're like, okay, I've got to score this amount of points or whatever? Do you just kind of let the game come to you as it does?
Try to get rebounds, assists. I try to get the team involved too.
So, Cale, is having your older brother, Colt, as a leader on the team. Do you look at him on the court as a big brother, or do you look at him as a teammate? And how's that, dynamics work? Can you separate the two?
Well, on the floor, I know he's a brother, but, I mean, he's also a good teammate.
Does he ever yell at you? on the court?
Yeah, yells at me a lot. I mean, I expect it. So,
You ever yell back
not really. I mean,
at home? Do you?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
see, that's
so it
fine.
is a little
Yeah.
different on the court.
We're trying to get Kel to open up a little bit. So,
So we'd like for him to yell a little
So
more.
yell at him.
little
Next
more
game, just
aggressive.
yell at him on the court for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to yell back at me. Sometimes I push him so hard that I'm wanting to get a reaction back from him to get that reaction back, and I usually just get a bad look from Kel. So.
Well, so we're talking about family dynamics for just a second real quick. So you guys, outside of basketball, which is obviously a passion for you, you guys kind of enjoy some other things besides basketball. What do you like to do? What do you guys do as father and son and that kind of thing?
Oh, we do a lot of fishing, some boating activities. They do a lot of fishing together. We've a lot of our family vacations, both sides have been around, water or lakes or rivers, and we enjoy the outdoors, hunting. And
You deer hunt?
I deer hunt. Kel does a little. Colt hadn't really got into the deer hunting. He's been duck hunting a few times, but
Did you get a deer this year?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Me and little brother Kason got
Okay.
one this year, but
Right on. One shot?
2 shots for me.
2 shots. Okay.
1 shot for him.
Okay.
But these guys, they take off and go do a lot of fishing on their own. They're really,
Now I understand
they're in
that,
the
that
fishing.
Kale has had the biggest catch of the year so far in fishing. Like a really big catch, like probably like 160-pound catch, something like that. Can you tell us about that, maybe? What was that like? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Did you maybe like hook your brother?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
I didn't know what he was talking about.
I was confused.
Yeah, what happened? What?
Well, I guess we were just fishing, and I, just casting, and Cole's behind me, and I didn't even see him, and I just tried to cast, and then I got stuck on something. I didn't know what it was, and I looked back, and I yanked.
Oh, he cast it.
It was into his arm, and man, I don't know.
Which arm was it?
Below the barb,
Left,
too.
Left arm.
Yeah.
Do you have to have stitches?
No, I had to go to the emergency room and they just poke it through, pull it out.
Beautiful.
It wasn't that bad, but
So was that the week before or week after that you came home with one in your finger?
It was the week
after.
after,
Like
I think.
almost
yeah.
a week after they had been at the river below the dam fishing for stripers, and Kel comes home with a barb in his finger, and we were
Nice.
able to get it out at home without going in. But
Fun stuff.
See, Kale should have taken one of those pictures that they take with, with like the fishermen where they have the fish hanging from the thing. He could just
With his
held
brother.
it up
Yeah, he
his
should
brother.
have, man. Big catch. Big catch. That's fun stuff.
All right, back to basketball. Kyle Keener has been relatively healthy this year, and in years past, he's had some health issues like ankles and stuff like that. What has that meant to the team this year to have him? He missed one game due to a concussion, but other than that, he's played all the other games. What has it meant to have him for pretty much the full year this year?
Kyle has been the backbone for our team this year, and he's been really consistent, and he's upped his scoring a little bit every year. I think he had a great game last night, minus some free throws that he normally hits.
Right.
And, just that senior leadership, being a 4-year starter, he always stays positive. He's usually the one that speaks up on the sideline or at halftime and kind of keeps the guys together. It's been really fun watching him develop as a player. He went from somebody that, a year ago had about given up the hopes of playing college ball, and then had a spectacular summer. He and Colt got to play together, and I think that helped their relationship, and then obviously helped his game. And then eventually he was awarded a scholarship to UCO for his play, and
Awesome.
it's going to be fun watching him over the next 4 years there.
Coles, you think about that. You've played with Kyle your entire high school career, and so what's it going to be like next year having to play without him?
it's going to be a huge loss. I mean, he's been a huge part of our team. He makes up for a lot of mistakes. Everybody on the team. If a guy gets past you, he's going to be there to block the dude's shot.
He's got a knack for blocking shots. He's really good at it.
Yeah. Last night, is he averaging a double-double on the season? Because someone told me he was, and I haven't been able to go back and
It's
look.
real close. I haven't updated from last night, but he's getting real close.
Because I think last night he had 22 points, 14 boards, 3 blocks, something like that. And then, Colt had 24 points. So those two, I mean, when they score, it's they can put some points on the
we're
board.
looking for that third or fourth score to contribute it, and it may be a combination of players. But between Jacob Garby and Kel and Matthew, or Josh Tabor, we need those guys to be able to combine and get another 20 between them. And we got a few weeks left to try to figure that out before the playoffs start.
Right
Yeah.
on. Right on.
Now, to Cale and Colt, Rusty has assured me that you guys have total immunity no matter what you guys say. So, having said that, what's it like playing for your dad? Would it be easier to play for a coach who isn't your dad, or just what's it like playing for your dad?
I mean, it'd probably be easier, but I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, he pushes us, and it's just going to help us in the long run, really. So I enjoy it.
Cool.
Except those moments.
Those moments.
Now,
So-
okay.
So talk about that for a minute.
That's what I
So
was
as
I know where you're going.
as a dad, one experience that I've had in actually coaching my son was when he was in first grade and it was football. And so when he messed up versus when other kids were messing up on the team, it was different. I mean, it's so much different. How does that work out for you in coaching?
It's hard to separate, but I think any of my guys up here on this team will tell you that, I will get into them just as much. Now, I think sometimes I may stay on these two a little longer than I would somebody else because of and I think a lot of that goes to the expectations that I have for them. But I tell all the guys that, if I wasn't trying to push you or I haven't seen you perform at these levels before, then, I wouldn't be getting on you. It's just when I know you're capable of giving that little bit more, that's what we're trying to get out of you.
Do you guys have a thing where you leave it on the court, or when you go home, do you say, okay, we got to –
Done a lot better with that in the past years, and especially this year. And I think us living out a little outside of Sand Springs, there's a little more downtime before we get home, and them driving helps a lot now.
But there's some quiet
we don't
car
have to-
rides home.
There's
huh?
some quiet car rides home, and you're not as tempted to. And I've tried to do a better job of by the time we get home, we're, it's over and we're moving on. And definitely growing up through youth sports and some other things, there was always some pretty wild ride home.
There's got to be some times when you don't even have to say a word. It's just the look. Do you guys
Yeah.
ever get the look?
Oh, yeah.
You know the look.
All the
so-
time.
That's awesome. All right, this is a question for both of you guys. If you couldn't play basketball, what sport would you play?
Well, I'm playing baseball right now,
Okay.
so that's my other sport. But
Is there one that you don't play that you kind of wish you would?
if there was another sport that I'd want to play besides those two, it would probably be football. I mean, it seems kind of fun to be
Yeah.
out there.
What you?
Go.
Probably football, and if we had a men's volleyball team, I'd play men's volleyball.
Nice.
All right,
I could see that.
Coach, what about coaching? If you had to choose, or they're gonna put a new program in. We want you to coach. I remember when I was in college, they talked about this in the 70s. Coach Bryant at Southwest Baptist University, he had a choice to start a wrestling program or a tennis program. He didn't know anything about either one, and so he read a book called How to Coach Tennis, and he now has had several national championships. It's crazy. So if Sand Springs School said you have to start coaching a new program, what's it going to be?
Oh, for me personally, I would probably go the baseball route. I played baseball growing up in high school as well, but I'm kind of like Colt. I enjoy before my knees got bad, I enjoyed playing a lot of volleyball, and I think it would be pretty cool if Oklahoma had boys volleyball.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
would.
Sports.
See, when I look
as
at
they
Cole,
do.
I see a quarterback, 6'5".
Yeah, man.
I think he'd be recruited right now for football just on his size alone.
sure.
And then a pitcher too, man. Those tall pitchers, the way they curve.
Colt gave
Swing
up
it.
baseball after his
Fifth grade.
11 and under. He quit the baseball.
Yeah.
So you decide just to focus on basketball.
Yeah.
Favorite basketball player of all time for you?
LeBron.
LeBron.
I'm a big LeBron fan.
How about you, man?
Either LeBron or Steph Curry.
Okay.
What is wrong with these guys? It's Michael Jordan.
Coach,
That's
what
the
about
only
you?
answer.
I'm leaning towards Michael Jordan
See,
myself.
he gets it.
Maybe
Greatest
a little older,
of all time.
Larry Bird, maybe.
Larry Bird.
I love
you gotta
Larry
love
Bird.
Larry Bird.
I made my son watch some Larry Bird highlights because he had always heard he was good or whatever, but just the way he handled the ball, he could shoot threes, his defense, and everything. So now
We got to
my
bring in
son's
Pistol Pete Maravich.
Yeah, he was something else. Man, his
cut
ball
short,
handling
but yeah.
skills were insane.
Yeah.
I mean, but for me, it's Jordan. I mean, I graduated in '92. I'm 40, and he was.
I was Michael Jordan
I know.
when I was like in 8th grade.
I'm sure you were.
Yes, I was Michael Jordan.
Follow the leader trivia.
All right, how about some trivia? We like to do a little trivia with our guests, talk about primarily Sand Springs sports. And so coming in, a few years ago, this may be a little difficult, but maybe you've learned and you coming from this area might know some things. But Colt, we're going to start with you. And some of this is family history too. So what years did your dad coach state championship teams at Memorial High School?
2003, 2008, and 2013.
Bam!
He got it.
Wow!
All right.
And just to stop real quick, we've got to address the fact that you do have 3 state championship trophies, and to me, any coach that does that is at some point going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
There are coaches that go their entire career and never even get close, and to have 3 is so impressive. Is there one particular one of those years that you think was probably the best team that you've coached?
Now, if all of those teams were in the room, I couldn't answer this because there's a long-going debate amongst those guys.
I'm sure there is.
When they start comparing players and teams, but I would have to say 03 was overall the best team. Top to bottom players with Caleb Green, Kelvin Sango, Lamont George, and
Does it have a little bit to do with that it was your first?
I don't know. I've looked at it that way before, but I just really think those guys had a special bond, their connection on the floor, and they were such competitors. And then you look at the careers that Kelvin and Caleb had at ORU. It was easy to see the way they were able to carry that team. So
Cool. Cale.
Yeah.
All right, we're staying with that topic. What year was his state runner-up team?
I'm trying to forget that one.
Was it 2012?
Oh, 2010.
2010.
You were close.
Damn.
You were close.
All right, Coach. Coming into this season, how many career wins did you have?
To be honest, I don't know.
Closest guess.
215,
Maybe over 300. Come on.
Maybe over. No, I don't know.
I've got 344.
Well, we got 344.
344.
Yeah,
Okay.
come on.
That's pretty
Sell
impressive.
yourself short there, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Dustin.
never fill that out on the state questionnaire when they ask at the beginning of the year.
Dustin Morrow got mad at us because we shorted him
I know, this
in
guy's-
football. His stats. I guess I had the wrong stats, and he let us know they were the wrong stats.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, Colt. Who was the last coach at Sand Springs to send their team to the area tournament 2 years in a row?
I'll give you a little hint.
You were on the team.
He might be sitting in the room.
Oh,
That was kind of a trick question.
And it wasn't me.
I was thinking
Yeah, it
too
was
hard.
not Rusty.
It was not me.
Although he was Michael Jordan in the 8th grade.
That's true. It certainly was. All right, Cale. 2015, Sand Springs has a winning season. Before that, when was their last winning season?
I'm not sure on that one.
He might have just been born.
It was a while ago. I don't
Or
What
not
year were you
yet.
born?
How old are you?
know. I am 16.
Not yet.
What year were you born?
2000.
There
He
it
got
is.
it.
There it is.
Boom. Without any prompting whatsoever. Okay, this is there's no right answer to this. Well, Colt might think so, but could Eric Savage in his prime beat Colt in a game of one-on-one?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I don't know about
He didn't
that.
even hesitate. He didn't even hesitate.
The better question is, can Eric Savage beat Colt in one-on-one today?
Oh, that's a better question.
He used
I'd have
be
to
able
put some dribble limitations on him.
No limitations. No holds barred.
No holds
Straight
barred.
up.
No, I think he's surpassed me now.
He got you now. Huh?
He's got me now.
Well, that happens to the best of us, man. I understand. Well, okay, Colt. How many times has your dad won Tulsa World Boys Basketball Coach of the Year?
3.
Yeah.
3 times. Actually, the only 3-time solo winner in the Tulsa World. So pretty awesome.
It's not
I think
bad.
I realized that either.
Right on.
We're just full of
Add
it.
that to that
Bring
coach
all the
sheet.
good stuff.
Yeah, put
Right.
that on the
Next
sheet next
Man.
year.
Yes, sir.
All right, Kale, last question. What is Colt's career high in scoring?
It's 32, I think.
Close.
34.
34.
Yeah.
I think.
Awesome.
Do you remember what game that was? I don't remember.
Bigsby.
Yeah, that's
Against
right. That's
Bigsby
right.
at home.
Yeah.
Talk to us real quick. We're going to go into some rapid fire in a minute. I'm just going to quick questions, ask you this or this, this or this. But before we do that, just talk to us about the sports culture here in Sand Springs, kind of what you see happening, particularly basketball and the support and how important that is to you as a coach and then you guys as players, the fans and what they bring to the table or to the doobie each week when you play, all those kind of things. Just share some of that.
Well, we lived out here for about 5 years before, and the boys were in elementary school here, and I would drive home from Memorial late at night, coming in and come up Adams Road, or it was a football Friday night or something, and you see the stands packed and cars lined up everywhere, and I always thought that this could be a place that other sports could excel besides football because of the support the community gave. And I think the past several years since we've been here, you've seen the success of the girls softball team. The girls basketball team now is going to be the #1 seed in the regional and the east side, and the success the football team has had, playing for state championships, and the things that we're doing in boys basketball. Baseball's always been very competitive. So I think there's it's just getting people to believe that other sports can be good around here besides football, and getting the interest up in the lower grade levels, which we've been trying to do, working with our elementary schools and the junior highs over at Clyde Boyd. And Jeff Cooper's been instrumental in helping me get the junior high program going and getting a lot of interest up just from 5th and 6th graders, so that we have a year or two advance like Jinx and Union and Bigsby do. Their elementary programs feed their high school, and that's your bloodline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about that just for a minute, because coming from Memorial and Sand Springs being more of it's a community, it's a city, where Memorial, it's Tulsa, it's a little bit widespread, a little bit ambiguous as to where the boundaries are and some of those kind of things. What's the difference in now being in a community where it's really obvious, hey, Sand Springs is Sand Springs?
Right. For so many years, a lot of times we didn't know who we were getting at Memorial till their freshmen, until they showed up that freshman year. Now you might hear of 1 or 2 guys that you knew that were coming, but a lot of times you didn't know to that first day of who showed up, and so that was kind of where we started building. And then a few years later, they did incorporate where the middle schools, like it's Memorial Junior High now, it's Central Middle School now, instead of having separate. So they started changing the feeder pattern a little bit. But it was also if there were kids out there and they were good junior high kids, and you wanted a chance to get them, usually Booker T got the pick of the litter. Yeah. And but it's different here, and I don't miss that. Trying to go out and compete for kids, it's something nice having your own guys for the most part, and you'll always get a move in or two usually, but building up our feeder schools and getting to see those guys succeed once they get to high school is the way we need to do it out here.
Well, as a fan, as a member of our community, and then even being on the school board, I love hearing you say that. The importance of those feeder schools, if we call them that, the growing through the program and building that from the ground up, really from those younger ages, is so important. And it really builds a culture instead of just kind of playing a season.
Right.
Well, and I've got one last question. There's a senator, I believe, that's drafting a bill about open transfers. Do you have an opinion as to open transfers or closed?
There's,
Your answer can be no comment too, by the way.
No, I don't mind. I think I mean, you see it statewide, and it's probably more rampant in the Oklahoma City area than it is, and it's changed the landscape of you know, kind of high school sports.
Sure.
I mean, you just look in the city. Norman goes from a non-contender for years, and all of a sudden they get a new coach and a couple of guys move in.
Yeah.
Edmond North the same way.
Yeah.
And you know, so I think the rules either need to be changed by the OSSA or don't have the rule and let kids go where they want to go.
Right.
And you know, we've probably benefited from some of those in the past, and we've also been hurt by some of those
Right.
in the
Oh, yeah,
past.
definitely.
And every school can say that, but you know, it's almost coming to the point that it's like a summer travel team, and everybody's just going to go to, you know, you're an apartment move away from going to whatever high school you want to.
Sure.
So I don't know what the answer is to that, but I think there definitely has to be something. You know, I think they need to look into the way the rules are now.
Yeah, because there are some kids that had the exact same situation. Some are approved, some are denied.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that just say it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
There's a buddy of mine, Greg Nation. He was the head football coach at Norman, and when he got the job there, Norman was down football-wise, and Norman North, they were doing really well, and then it shifted, and then the next couple of years, his team was doing really well, and Norman North was down a little bit. Well, then it shifted back, and so he recently resigned, but he saw that shift where. And he basically would, you know, I mean, he was just like, yeah, all the good kids were at Norman North, and now they're with me. And then now all the good kids have transferred from here to, you know, and it's kind of one of those deals where you would see it, you know, and I know that that's the same district basically. I mean, it's the same town, but you'd see a lot of that to where at one point the school would be good and then the other one would be bad, and then it would just kind of shift.
More Follow the Leader podcast next.
Inkwell has become a leader in the area specializing in customized apparel, offering screen printing, direct-to-garment printing, embroidery, business cards, vinyl, full-color digital banners, flyers, postcards, yard signs, and so much more. Inkwell is located at 1 West 41st Street in Sand Springs, just 1 block west of Quick Trip. Call 918-508-3634. That's 918-508-3634. And let one of our helpful service representatives go to work for you. Check out Inkwell on Facebook, Instagram, and at inkwellnation.com. Inkwell, your choice for custom apparel and printing.
Follow the Leader Rapid Fire.
Rapid fire, you know, the fans, people like to listen and learn a little bit about you and maybe where you lean on different topics and things like that. And so we're going to start with Colt. Just rapid fire. I'm just going to ask quick questions. Just give me your first thought, your first reaction. Starting off, pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
What weapon would you use in a zombie apocalypse?
Shotgun.
Rap or country music?
Rap.
Favorite candy?
Skittles.
We already answered this, but Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
LeBron James.
No.
Wrong. Okay, do aliens exist?
No.
Instagram or Twitter?
Twitter.
Or Snapchat?
Twitter.
Biggest phobia?
I don't like spiders, so.
There, yes.
Do you go to Starbucks?
No.
All right. What's your favorite NFL team?
Probably the Cowboys. I don't watch very much.
That's
so.
even worse.
Not a big
That's
NFL
worse
fan.
than-
Yeah, I don't watch it very much.
All right. Favorite NBA team?
Cavs.
Okay. Kale, how about you? Running or lifting weights?
Lifting weights.
Is Bigfoot real?
No.
Gatorade or Powerade?
Gatorade.
Who's the funniest player on the boys' team?
Probably Caleb.
Favorite teacher?
Probably Miss Edmondson.
Skittles or Starburst?
Skittles.
Favorite college basketball team?
OU.
McDonald's or Burger King?
McDonald's.
Worst sports injury you've ever had besides that fishing hook?
A fishing hook.
Maybe a sprained ankle.
Okay. Superman or Batman?
Superman.
There you go. Guys, thank you so much for being with us. This, you know, like I said, it was our first boys basketball podcast, and we're excited about what the rest of the season holds, and we got postseason coming up here pretty soon, so we just want to wish you guys the best of luck. And
Man, proud of you guys. Just
absolutely.
fighting it
Thank
out
you.
this season and know that the best's yet to come for this season and for the program. So we're just excited.
Appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Follow the Leader podcast, brought to you by the Sand Springs Leader and Inkwell, your choice for custom apparel and printing. Visit them online at inkwellnation.com. Until next time, everyone hold hands and follow the leader.